Starting of mid last year, things started changing on our financial sector. Well, the big wigs of Wall Street are starting to lose their grip. Lose their grip as in going crazy? No, that's not what I mean. How about losing their grip on basically being able to control the market? That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the control they've had for decades on the market to put a person in business or out of business. You've heard that we have a free market, but is it really? No, it's not. In my younger years, we used to say, vote with your dollar. Let people know exactly where you want to go. I think the younger generation right now has got that right on. It's dialed in. They're doing what we've always wanted to do, and they're doing it better. So my generation heard of the movement when the traders on Robinhood started propping up GameStop. Wrong. You still have traders of all different ages that are, doing the will call and the short stop and, basically day trading. Seeing an influx of traders that are holding, and they're not holding because of the potential value. They're holding because of the social value. When you have the old guard like Warren Buffett talk against it and say how dangerous it is, using scare tactics to get the retail investor out, then we're moving in the right direction. So what does that mean for us in the future? Well, we've gotten used to using cryptocurrency, even though it's not real cryptocurrency. But we've gotten used to not carrying cash and using our cards. Well, that's pretty much the same type of idea and formula that we'd be using with cryptocurrency. Believe me, I had a hard time wrapping my mind around it when I first started hearing about cryptocurrency. And the first one we've all heard about is what? Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been around for 20 plus years, and we've seen it grow, and we've seen how it worked. And we've seen the price go up. Everything else in the IT fields, we have gotten better, faster, using less energy consumption, better for our planet. But this is a point for us older generations. So our dollar used to be backed by gold and silver. It hasn't been backed by that for decades. So the issue for the older generations that are just now looking at the markets is, well, what is it backed by? What is it backed by? It's backed by the people, the citizens of the world. Everybody's buying into this. The one that's most prominent right now is Doge. You've got Dogecoin, you've got Lite, you've got Ethereum, and these coins are doing wonderful jobs, and they take so much less energy to produce. I'm not going to pretend like I can sit here and explain to you in detail how to mine these coins. You can find that all over the internet. No, I'm going to take the lazy route. I'm just going to purchase it, and I'm going to hold. And I'm going to hold because I know it will grow. What are these currencies also doing for us? Well, it's raising a lot of the borders. It's a currency that I can take with me to any country I go to. So now, can I buy actual physical items with it? Well, in some cases, yes. But Dubai just announced that they would be accepting Doge to buy real estate there. And there's like a full list of companies that are now taking cryptocurrency in lieu of paper dollars. So the trend is growing, and that's only good for all of us. It makes us a little more equal, and it's something that you can do with apps on your phone. So that makes it a lot more simpler. And you're not having to pay somebody for their opinion when you can do your own research, and you do have to do research. Don't get me wrong. It can be addictive. You have to be careful. You have to have a plan set in place for what you're going to do, how you're going to buy, when are you going to sell, and what you're going to do with your profits. I'm starting very late in the game. I don't have a retirement. I did have a savings. Well, I still have a savings. I just put it into the market. And so far, I haven't gone below my initial investments. Don't get me wrong. I have a plan for what is going to happen if I get down to that point. I have a stopgap, a point of no return. So if it gets down to that point, then I sell. This is also for us older generations. You hear people talking about, oh, I lost all this money. And in fact, when it comes to cryptocurrency or even stocks, you lose the value of each stock or each coin. You haven't lost money. So if you hold on to it, there is a good chance it's going to go back up. You just have to be a skeptic about what you're hearing, do your own research, check on what you're finding, double check it, triple check it, make sure you have more than just one source, and then make the decision that fits you best. But do not borrow money to go into the field of investment if you're just starting out. That's where history comes into play. So the whole thing that happened in 1929 when we went into the Great Depression had everything to do with panic. Really, that's all it was. Well, no, I take that back. It was panic and over leveraging. So people were only paying 10% of actual buys that they were making. So when all that money went down and people started running to the banks to pull their money out of the banks, there was no money to give them. So what happens? Everybody calls in their markers, says, okay, we borrowed you this amount of money for you to buy your stocks. You need to give it back to us. So they're hurrying up, selling everything, trying to pay off these debts, and people just lost everything. So if we remember our history and we keep a good eye, it's not going to happen again. Besides, we also have stopgap measures. So today we had a big thing going on in the market, and it had a lot to do with AMC. AMC started dropping really fast because there was going to be a short sell, and people were trying to buy in at low. So when it goes back up, they've got it, right? Well, when it started going down way too fast. The percentages were dropping way too fast. So it literally got frozen 3 different times during the trading morning. I would say those 3 freezes happened within an hour and a half, all 3 at the first beginning part of the trading day. But if anything, you look at GameStop, you look what happened there. I think we can see pretty much the same thing go on with AMC. Now, like I said, I'm not a professional. Don't take my advice. Do your own research. Do your own investing. Because you know what? That is going to be our future. And really, it's taking your own destiny in your own hands and taking it out of the people that, pretty much think we're too stupid to do anything. But when you start seeing these people that you admire, that you've been watching for years talking about the stock market or companies or whatever, start using scare tactics like, oh, it's going to crash. Everybody's going to lose all their savings. They're going to lose their retirements. They're going to be going into bankruptcy. That's when you have to question the most, because that is a control tactic to use on the people who are not familiar with the ins and outs. So what do? You start reading, you start Googling, you start looking into everything that you possibly can and make your decision from there. Don't let somebody tell you what's going to happen. If the common person wasn't capable, we wouldn't have the things that we have today. We wouldn't have the technologies. We wouldn't have the vehicles. We wouldn't have the homes. We wouldn't have all the different things that we have today. So we're not incompetent. We're not incapable of living and doing what's right. Keep that in mind. So I'm going to be checking in off and on, telling you how I'm doing in the market. And if you have any questions, I'll try and answer them, or get you the person that can answer them for you. Thank you for listening.